All right, we're going to start this series with the basics. So what I consider the basic most of the times are not really seen as basics. Some people treat the basics as position, and I think there's a whole new world to learn positions that we should master before we actually dive into the positions. That was not the way I learned. And I don't think everybody needs to understand that concept at first, but definitely there will be a point in life when you're not going to be able to solve the problems by yourself. You're going to have to look after your professor. Your professor is not there, so it's nice to have this alphabet, you know what I mean? To teach yourself how to get away in certain positions where you don't have time to stop, ask someone what to do. So I consider the Jiu-Jitsu, we have three aspects, okay? First, we need to understand the human body and how to control it, how I position my body in relation to the opponent body, and ultimately how I move my body in order to take advantage of these positions and positioning, okay? First, we're gonna learn how to control, and to control, we need to understand the body is made of joints, okay? And at the end, that's what we're trying to control, okay? The human body is through the joints. So we're gonna have the small joints, will be the fingers, okay? The toes, and I'm gonna prioritize those joints when I'm in a far distance. For example, if we're here, the first thing you're gonna try to reach me will be your fingers, okay? So controlling that is gonna give me a certain level of control, but too small, okay? You can move all the body, yes, okay? The second type of joint will be the middle joint, will be the wrist, elbow, and shoulders separately, heels, knees, and hips individually, okay? Middle joint, middle control, and that will be probably the joints I will care the most, because when after I really engage the fight, that I'm gonna have left to worry about, okay? And pretty much all the positions that we apply related to joints are gonna have to control one of your limbs, okay? Either arms or legs, okay? The last type of joints will be the big joints, and that's what I want the most, okay? Because knowing I control the bigger joints, I control the majority of your body, and lead me to an easier way to attack whatever I want to, okay? And the bigger joints will be head, chest, or torso, or your waist, okay? So you're both of your hips together, okay? So in a system of three, if I control two, I have advantage, okay? So if I'm controlling your hands like this, we have two hands free, you have two hands free, okay? Soon as I get a little bit closer, okay, it will be natural to try to move in as well, okay? So my hands are controlling your elbow, and my elbow are controlling your hands, okay? Same thing if I go to your shoulder, okay? I'm trying to use my elbow to kind of control the rest of the body, okay? So it's important to understand I'm using all my joints in order to take the advantage and control the full limb, okay? For example, we understand the arms, but we can use the same concept in the legs as well. So, of course, the first approach will be on your heels, okay? But as soon as I move to your knees to have a better control, can you see how my elbow here start to guide you to move? Yeah. Exactly. Same thing if I keep going forward, okay? Can you see how I'm going to your hips? So now my elbow are looking after your knees. And if you keep trying to play your guard, like move your leg, yes, I'm using my shoulder to protect as well, okay? You, for example, in a armbar. Yes. What's the best way to control an arm? Exactly. Can you see how you're controlling my wrist? Okay, just by controlling my elbow. That's exactly what we've done there. You could do the same side, could you? For example, if I try to attack you here, you come here. Yeah. Yes. Can you see how raise your elbow? Yes. Can you see how I'm moving my hands? Yeah. Okay. This works every day. You know what I mean? It's going to work in every situation. Side control. I could try to control your wrist with my wrist, but I can use, yes, my forearm here. So if you try to get me there, you can see how I'm using my elbow here to control your arm, nice, okay? Of course, I want a bigger joint, okay? That's why if I go to chest and chest, I don't need to worry about the arms anymore, okay? Because already the big joints, okay? And that's what we want to at the end, okay? For example, bigger joints are hips, yeah?
Yep.
Chest and head, okay? In a close guard, you already have a big joint, yes. Isn't
I've
it?
got your hips?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's why the close guards are so good, and people want to play close guard all the time, because you already have one big joint, okay? By controlling my arms here,
Here I am.
well, it doesn't matter. Good. Why don't you hold them here, and this?
It's a waist.
Yes, of course, okay?
I've already got you.
Yes, perfect, okay? So what's the next thing you can control? My head,
Yeah.
okay? And of course, this is the next joint. You already have control on my wrist. You already control my elbow. So the next will be my head, okay? Or my shoulder, okay? Which is gonna give a control of a second big joint, which will be, you can see how you have my torso completely now under control, okay? So the only thing I have to move is my head, all right? Same thing, for example, if I go side control. Nice. Do I have your head?
Yes.
Yes. Do I have your chest?
No.
No. And now?
No, you don't have my head, but you have my chest.
And now?
No, you got both.
Yes. So now I got them completely under control. Am I?
Yeah,
Yeah?
feels like it. Yeah.
I could go a little bit low as well. So now I have your hips. Do I have your chest? No. Do I have your head? No. And now, with this hand under, you can see how I'm controlling your chest? Yes.
So now I've just got my head.
Yeah, I'm controlling your hips. But in a system of 3, if I control 2, it's
Advantage.
enough. Yes.
Yeah,
Okay. It all depends what I want to do. Okay. Let's say I'm here and you start to push toward me your legs to recover the guard. Okay. I want to be heavy on your hips. Okay. In your chest. Once I control that, I can move to the head and the chest as well. Okay. Important thing to mention is I should not rush my control, okay? So, for example, you playing your guard, okay? Yes, that looks all right. What I have to face first? Your legs, okay? If I try to go straight away to the big joints, I'm giving too much for you, okay? Exactly, all right? So the priority, it depends of the distance. Remember we say small joints, long distance, okay? First approach, that will be what I'm gonna look after, okay? Middle joints, it's gonna be the middle approach, which is most of the time is where the fights happen, okay? And if I have enough control of the middle joints, finally, I go for the big joints, for example. Hips,
So it's step by step.
step by step, okay? I have to respect the order, otherwise I'm gonna give something for you, all right? Once we understand the types of joints, how to respect the priority, okay, the order that I should go after, using as a ladder, okay, small, medium, and ultimately big joints. I understand how to control better those joints. I'm gonna have control in the limbs, okay, and the way I'm gonna position my limbs is gonna make all the difference, okay? So we understood you have 5 limbs. 2 arms, 2 legs, and I have a head, okay? The head will be the key point, okay, most of the time. The way you're gonna position my head make me win or lose the position. We're gonna understand that later. So having a system of 5, I need to have a balance of 2 to one side and 3 to the other side. And I'm gonna use the middle section of your body, your chest and belly button, okay, to determine where I should balance that, okay? What belongs to the right doesn't mix with the left, okay? That doesn't make any sense, does it?
No.
So why we fight like this? No. It doesn't make any sense, okay? So the best example I can give is if you go side control, for example. Thank you. All right, so we have the middle section. Let's push back a little bit. So I have the middle section, okay, of your body, and I need a balance of 2 and 3, okay? The classic way, All right. How many limbs I have passing the middle section?
Two. My head and my arm.
And myself.
Oh, and yourself.
As well.
Yeah.
My head and my arm.
Yeah.
Okay? So, depending where you offer more risks, okay, I can reposition my arm to have a better control, okay? For example, if I'm here and you're trying to face me, that will make sense this arm stay here, okay? If you start to annoy me with your head, for example, bring your head in, turn to me, yes, okay? This is gonna be absolutely good, okay? But let's suppose you start to come with your legs. So I will try to do that, okay? Can you see the problem? How many limbs I have on the other side? One, okay? Start to hip out. Yes, I will have no control.
Yeah.
Okay?
Lie down.
Yeah, just closer. So how I should move in relation to that? If you annoy me with your head, I'm gonna cross face, okay? If you start to come with your hips, I'm gonna switch and start to play like this, right? Yeah. If I want to attack this arm, it would be nice to have more limbs to bring here. So what I'm gonna start to do? This.
3.
Yes. Okay?
Yeah.
Good. Why this works so well? Because I actually have 2.5 each side.
Being your forearm?
Yeah, exactly. Can you see my hands passing?
Yeah.
I can do that easily, have 3, but 2.5 works fine, okay? So depending how I'm passing your guard, same thing. For example, I have a half guard, okay? Good. Middle section, okay? How many limbs I have on this side?
2.
2, perfect. And half,
Yeah.
right? This works fine?
3?
Yes?
No.
Why?
Your leg.
Yeah, I have 2 limbs on this side, isn't it?
Yeah.
What's the problem? It's
Sweet.
when, for example, I start to move my legs to there.
Start to move your leg.
Yeah, like this, okay? Nice. Can you see this leg is passing the middle section of your body? How many limbs I have on this side now?
1.
1, okay? So can you just back take me? Just use your hands. Yes, exactly. Right?
Right.
So I'm here. You start to throw me there. What I should do to fix?
Bring a leg.
Yes. Can see I'm back to balance. 2, 3.
Yeah.
Okay. Why I came back with this arm here? Because I'm weak here. Okay. I need some reinforcement here. So I'm gonna come with my arm, and this is gonna allow me to. Perfect. Oh, good. Okay. Let's say you control my arm here. Okay. How many limbs I have on this side?
1, 2.
But you have control on this one.
Yeah.
Yes. What happens if you throw my arm to the other side? Yes. How many limbs I have on that side?
1.
1. So you're gonna back take me. Okay? So this distribution happens all the time. Close guard, please. Two, yes, and my head's gonna be the key point, all right? Let's say you get my arm. Yes? Perfect, yes. How many limbs I have on this side?
3.
3. 1.
2. 3. Yeah. Oh, 4, sorry.
4, okay?
Yeah, okay.
It means you're super strong on this side.
Yeah.
Start to hip escape. Yes. Back take. Exactly. Okay?
Yeah.
So the way I distribute my body, okay, and how I distribute my limbs, it's super important. So in a system of 5, I want to have a balance of 3 and 2, okay? 3 being the side I want to be stronger, okay? And 2, the side I can neglect a little bit.
Right, so
okay?
3, if you're on the offense, you're usually 3.
Or
3 is usually offense or
the,
defense.
Yes,
Yeah,
okay? Where I want to be stronger.
Wherever you
Either
want to be
attacking or...
defending.
Yeah, and you shouldn't think about defend and attack because you, in Jiu-Jitsu especially...
Everything changes.
Yeah, because while we're doing guard, you can attack as well. So it's never a linear thing, you know what I mean? I'm attacking, I'll be attacking forever.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
I can be attacking and be under attack any second.
At the same time.
Yeah, okay. Good. Understood how to control the joints, understood how my limbs distribution is gonna make the difference, but how I gonna move? So how I gonna position myself in relation to my friend in a fight, okay? We're gonna work with two situations. I either can move, okay? And to move, to create locomotion, I need 2 points of base, okay? 1, 2, okay? So I need 2 points of contact.
Sure.
Or I can pivot. And when I pivot, I just need 1 point, okay? So, starting with the pivot point. So can you get up, please?
Standing?
Standing, please. Boom. All right. So I'm gonna have a pivot point on my shoulder, okay? If you move sideways. Yes, move sideways. Beautiful, okay? If you walk back, I can use my hips as a pivot point. Yes, okay? If I want to create locomotion, I want to use 2 points of contact, okay? And it will be those 2 pivot points, shoulders and hips, okay? So I have your here face me straight, okay? Let's say I want to control a little bit more for your right, okay? So I'm gonna start with my shoulder, okay? Hips. Can you see I'm exactly doing a walk? Shoulder, pivoting, hips, pivoting, okay? Or I can wait for you to move, for example. Yes? Yes, okay, and I'm pivoting. The next move could be just the hips.
Oh, just the hips, yeah.
Yeah, using my pivot as a shoulder, perfect. Okay, so when I'm down, for example, in a side control as well. So if you come here. All right.
Side control?
Yes. So I'm controlling your limbs here, okay? I don't let you control the bigger joints, okay? That's key. Otherwise, I'm not gonna be able to pivot neither my hips, neither my shoulder, okay? So now I'm in terrible trouble here, okay? So go up a little bit. So I'm avoiding that, okay? Let's say you're trying to catch my head, and a lot of the pressure is here, okay? What I could do is using my pivot. Okay, so we go. See what happened? Okay, can you see now I'm more lined up with this side? Stay there.
Oh, now I've only got one limb on one side.
One limb on this side. So what I'm gonna do? Capitalize that. Okay, good. Could be different. Let's say you have all your pressure here on my face. Okay, all your pressure on my face. Can you see how I can pivot on my shoulder? Yeah? Can you see how much space I create here? Okay, so now I can move it out and once again capitalize. Okay?
Yep.
You can do the same thing when you're on top. Can you go down, please? Nice. Using my hips down, okay, I can use that as a pivot point. So when you move,
When I move?
yeah, move anyway. Can you see how I'm using that as a pivot? Okay. Can you see I'm literally using my hips and my foot? Remember, to create locomotion,
You need 2 points.
I need 2 points. Okay, and that's what I'm doing: hips and knees. Could I use my arms and my legs?
Yes.
Yes, I could. Okay, depends of the situation. Let's say I want to go for a knee on belly. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. Okay, once again, to pivot, I need 1 point, yes? This will be the point I want to pivot. Okay, so this foot here is light. So when you start to move, create locomotion. Okay, good? Same thing to the other side. Yes, okay? Here will be, let's talk about the limbs distribution, okay? How many limbs I have on this side?
You have 4.
4, okay? So you want to pivot or you want to conquer?
I want to conquer,
So which part of your body it's free first? Not your hips because my pressure, shoulder. And now with one move, you're gonna conquer. But can you see my head? That is the point where the head is crucial because now
You're going to come over here.
Yeah. So you're gonna frame. You're gonna frame, yes. You're gonna frame. How many limbs I have this side? Beautiful, Dylan. You start to understand. One more thing is not necessarily I have to use the locomotion on the floor. Actually, I think that's the last place I should use my foot to move, okay? I can use yourself, okay? And we're gonna have 3 levels. So you get up, please. I will have the lower level, okay? I will have the lower level, the middle level, okay? And I will have the higher level, okay? We've seen that before. In a system of 3, control at least 2. This is a good control?
No.
No, okay? Exactly. This is a good control?
Is that?
Walk forward.
I'll walk forward.
Yes,
Yeah.
okay? This is a good control?
I feel like I can do the same thing.
Walk forward or back?
Walk back or forward.
Yes, perfect. Okay,
Yeah.
so what's the bad point of to control your knees? You can walk forward, okay? I have awesome control if you try to run for me. I have awesome control if you try to spin using my pivot, yeah? But not much if you walk forward. Here, walk to me. Walk sideways. Walk sideways. But all walking away, you win, okay? Here the same thing, sideways, sideways, walk forward. Yes, or walk backwards. Exactly. Okay, good? Yeah. So, repeating. In a system of 3, you control 2. This will be ideal. This will be ideal. Okay? This will be...
Not ideal.
Why?
It's the same, you're controlling just the top.
It's not because I'm controlling your arms, it's mean I'm controlling the top. Can you see how this foot is actually in a middle to lower level? And this one is in a high level? Here as well?
That's good.
Yeah, because I'm controlling 2 levels.
Okay.
We're not controlling joints now, we control the levels. So levels doesn't mean joints. That's why we split the explanation. Okay? First, the types of joints, then the limbs, and at least the levels.